Hey guys, what's up? This is Bharat, and if you've been following us on social media, on Instagram, Snapchat, etc., you'll know that we've been traveling to make some interesting videos for you guys. So, since I'm a little bit late, I'm going to try and keep this quick. This is going to be a video for first impressions for the LG G6. So, let's get started. So as far as the LG G6 is concerned, it's been launched in India for about 55,000 rupees, but is available for around 51,000 rupees. If you pre-book it, you also get 7,000 rupees as a cashback with some existing credit card suppliers, and you also have some interesting exchange offers on Amazon. So I'll leave a link to buy the LG G6 in the description below. You get a set of standard things inside the box, some documentation, the phone itself, the USB Type-C cable, the USB Type-C wall charger with quick charge, as well as a really high quality set of in-ear style earphones.
Now, the LG G6 is the first phone to get this wide Quad HD Plus resolution as far as this year's flagships are concerned. It was launched earlier and much before the S8 at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. Now, over at the front, you get a 5 megapixel f2.2 camera along with the main display. Now, the display is 5.7 inches with a resolution of 2880 by 1440. The screen to body ratio on the phone is pretty impressive, and the front only gets a small chin and a small forehead. The Android buttons are on screen, and if you look at the bottom of the device, you get the main microphone along with some antenna bands that go around the device. You also get the USB Type-C port along with the main speakerphone. Over to the right is your tray, which will house your two SIM cards and micro SD card. Over at the top is the 3.5mm headphone jack, thank God for that, and the secondary noise cancellation microphone. The left has the volume buttons, and over at the back is where the power button is, which is also a fingerprint sensor. You also get a dual placement of 13 megapixel cameras along with dual LED flash. Now, the 13 megapixel cameras have different lenses. One gets an f1.8 aperture, which is the standard width or the standard zoom lens, whereas a wider lens gets an f2.4 aperture. The phone does capture 4K video, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. The overall design of the phone is pretty fantastic, and it feels extremely good in the hand. It's got a much smoother finish than the LG G5, and it definitely is a lot more comfortable to hold and a lot more reassuring to hold than the Samsung Galaxy S8. Now, the only aspect where LG seems to have let down in this phone is the inner chipset. The phone runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 821 chipset, which is more or less last year's chipset. It was launched with the Google Pixel. You do get a quad-core CPU setup, so 2 into 2.35 gigahertz along with 2 into 1.6 gigahertz CPU cores. You also get the Adreno 530 GPU. The phone does have a 32 gigabyte or 64 gigabyte of storage, and you will get 4 gigabyte of RAM. You can also pop in a micro SD card up to 256 gigabyte, where you will need to use the second SIM slot to do that. Now, the phone runs Android 7 out of the box. You also get things like the Google Assistant, but LG's new user interface is pretty impressive, and it starts to grow on you after a little bit of while. Although I'm not a big fan of the icons and the fonts used, especially the color scheme, but the way LG has integrated some of the features into this phone is pretty impressive. The phone in itself, with all its capabilities, is really fast and responsive, and you'll enjoy using the display, especially the wide display, especially if you're multitasking. The phone runs on a 3300 mAh battery, and it does get Quick Charge 3.0, so it charges up fairly quickly. LG has also implemented some really interesting features into the camera mode, including a full Pro mode and a full Pro video mode, which also gives you audio peaking, which will come in really handy for those who record video on their smartphones. Interestingly enough, the front of the LG G6 also has Dolby Vision HDR, which is on the screen, allows you to watch movies which have been shot in Dolby Vision, which is something that was restricted to the big screen in a cinema hall or some LG televisions, is now going to be available on your LG smartphone as well. LG has made the camera user interface pretty impressive, and we will be checking that out in the full review of the device. The phone is also IP68 water and dust resistant, and is also mil-spec drop tested, which means that this phone will survive pretty much your day-to-day life. Over at the front, you do get Gorilla Glass 3, but the back is made out of Gorilla Glass 5, so it's tougher, whereas the front is more resistant to scratches. So while we are doing a full review of the phone, if you have any questions or queries, do drop them in the comment section below. Do check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and all the links to everything are in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next one.